I wrote an article in December 14, 2007. The title of the article was The Pitfalls of African Customs. A priori, the premise is that every culture is equanimous. It does not mean that, or it does not infer that the African culture is inferior to other cultures. My detractors will lay way for my heart, claiming I have said that the African culture is substandard. I believe culture is very important in people's lives because a people without a culture is a people without an identity. If what I am raising in my writing was that the culture was weak, then surely it becomes an overhaul. There are some customary practices that I seem to question even in my dream. A few of them are the rights to inheritance, marriage, sterility, male chauvinism, nepotism, and provisions by siblings. It is more than schadenfreude to witness an uncle or cousin inherit your father's wealth when you are alive, simply because tradition says that in case your father dies, his cousin or brother will be his heir. They will promise to sponsor you in school and help you, but heaven knows if they fulfill that promise. Every right-thinking African in whose land such tradition is practiced or is being practiced, hitherto should reject it overtly. What happens to your wife and kids after you die? That is the more reason why Africans should learn how to ride their wheels to prevent mischievous and parasitic relatives from depriving your family of your hard-earned wealth. I have also seen under the sun another practice that I don't understand. Why do we always associate marriage with childbearing? It is almost like if you get married 9 months after people expect you to, they expect your wife to be pregnant, else they start calling her barren or sterile. Before they subjected the woman to terrible ignominy, up to the point of requesting you get a second wife. That is how some people got into polygyny. Marriage is a divine means of procreation, but it is not the reason why God instituted marriage. Marriage was instituted as a solution to loneliness. That's in Genesis 2 verse 18. That is why no matter what toys we buy and recreation we have, there is still that vacuum for someone to rub your back and breathe hard on your neck and tell you I love you. Even the Japanese toys will not be able to fulfill that role. They have tried, but they have not succeeded. God, though, made the woman for the man, but he did not make her inferior. So I wonder why Africans, who were the first to be emancipated, they and their women, they still felt like their women are substandard. Let me say this. If you know Wami of Rwanda and the Mujajiji of South Africa, the traditional call them the Rain Queens. They were already leading their villages in the 1800s. At that moment, even in that time, the Westerners were still struggling to allow them equal opportunities. Their women were not even voting, I should say. Why are young girls forced into marriage but not young boys? Why is female circumcision forceful rather than facultative? No one should expect forceful female circumcision. In the West, if your brother becomes a derelict or a tramp, you are not despised, but in Africa, when your siblings are not doing fine, you are a pariah They even say that, some people even say that you've sold your siblings for money. They will say their rich brother or their rich sister has sold his own or her own siblings just to be rich. Definitely, one should take care of their families. But why do we still feel obliged to help indolent relatives? Just because we do not want the society to blame us? This great affinity is the cause of the last evil, the black plum theory. The black plum theory states that if your relative is on top of a black plum, you will eat black plums. How he got on that tree is not the issue. No one cares. That's why you see some people have migrated to places like Dubai only to become slaves there. Some women have gone to Europe only to become prostitutes because their families keep asking them for money, money, money. Keep asking them for help, help, help because they are in America. Some are here under the giant fund in America. They are working out like slaves because they have to send money home. It is almost like the Western philosophy of the end justifies the means. This theory means that if you have a relative in a position of authority, he must first help them before he helps strangers and cronies. That is why most employments are not by merit but by sanguinity. Isn't this a custom we should all deracinate? Every custom and every culture has some good customs and traditions, and some bad, and some have very bad ones indeed, I should say. It is time we scrape away the bad ones because every culture that refuses to evolve will forcefully be changed by a revolution. As you all know, revolution always goes to the extreme because they turn the king to slaves and to the slave and the funds to the chindas. There is no society that will stay forever. No empire will remain forever. Every kingdom will one day fall. Until then, may the good Lord provide for all the orphans who lost all because of customs. I am your humble servant, Prince and P.A. Hamilton Ayuk.